All right, Jay. Craig, another good win. What did you make of the performance?
To come here and beat the Raiders is a good win. I think they're a really good team, to be quite honest. They've got a lot of strong players in their team, like strong physical players, and I think Jack White is probably one of the best players in the competition, especially this year. I think he's been playing really well. So we're really happy to come away with the points here. I was probably a little bit disappointed in the second half, which I imagine Rick would be the same. There was I know it was wet and whatever, but just seemed to be a lot of mistakes in the second half, and the game was as slow as, and so I was a bit disappointed in what we did the second half. But as I said, I think Rick would say the same about his team.
The cameras in the half time kind of caught you having a go and blowing up a bit. What was your I just wanted to make a couple of strong points. I thought when we got to a good lead, we started looking for the easy options instead of sticking to what worked, in that first 20, 25 minutes of that first half. So when we got that lead, I just thought we were looking for a few easy options. So I was trying to make that point.
Raiders went to your edges a fair bit, and I guess you've got quite a few changes on your edges there with some young guys. How do you feel they handled that today? I
thought in the first half we done a pretty good job, because they, as I said, they've got some good players, especially Jack in the halves there. But I thought the first half we handled it okay, but I thought the second half we just given way too many metres, way too many line breaks, and on our edges. So that was one of the areas that I was talking about. I was a bit disappointed in the second half with our defence, on our edges.
What do you sort of make of the Raiders? Do you think they're sort of far away, or?
No, like, as I said, you look through their team and they're a real strong physical team. They've got a dummy half that can really run. I know they're probably missing Ojo a bit, but young Starling, he's as quick as, and we were very aware of what his strengths were, and I think we've done a pretty good job. I think he got away from us once or twice, but I think we've done a pretty good job there. But when you have a look at Papali and Tarpany, they're strong ball carriers too, and they're very experienced as well. I think the Raiders are, I'm not quite, I don't know where they're going to finish or whatever, but I think that they're a side that we always respect, or we certainly respect them this time, in that they've got a lot of, as I said, strong physical ball carriers, and that takes an 80-minute effort to defend that well. And as I said, I think Jack's one of the best players in the comp at the moment.
Great. How's Ryan Papenhausen? I know he passed his HIA, but obviously considering his history and his head knocks and stuff.
He was obviously he passed. And the doc was pretty clear that he passed. I think it was a big step for him actually to go back out there in the second half, but he needs to do that at some stage. Again, we don't want him going out there if he is affected, or the medical staff are saying no, it's not on. But he got the all clear, so I think it was really important for him, an important step for him to go back out there. And I thought the second half there he did his job pretty well, and seemed to be a fair few HIAs today. So I'm not quite sure how that happened or what that means, but. I just thought I reckon today would give him a fair bit of confidence.
Just mentally as well, like sometimes that can probably take a little bit of time to be able to dig yourself into the line and make those hard lines, and he seems to be doing that really well. Yeah,
well, he's done really well all year this year. Like he didn't have such a good pre-season. I think I've mentioned before. He rolled his ankle in pre-season, probably missed 8 weeks of running. So we thought he'd be a bit behind in fitness and speed and whatever. But that doesn't seem to affect him too much. But just that HIA, we knew last year how long it took him to sort of get the confidence back. But to go back out there this afternoon was, I thought it was good. But as I said, the medical team, passed him, and then he had to get over that next bit of about going out.
Cam and Jerome just had a couple of little bits of class there during the game that probably ultimately proved the difference in the end.
Yeah, they probably were. Like, obviously the Jerome try at the end there was pretty important for us. They were coming after us then, and Cameron done a couple of really suppose, instinctive things that sort of helped us. He done a couple of instinctive things that probably didn't help us either. But but like I say, he's one of those players that you'd much rather have in your team than in the opposition.
Craig, you've obviously had some great players over the years, and I guess we talk about those guys every week. What's it, just having those avenues of so many guys that can create chances and turn the game for you? Like Harry Grant was great in the first half. Munster changed the game. Jerome finishes the game. It's an embarrassment of riches for you to have those guys, isn't it?
No, I don't think it's embarrassment of Richard. I quite enjoy having them there actually. So like again, at the end of the day, we were very lucky to have the big three. Going back to there, but having said that, the club recruited those guys as kids, and with all due respect, we recruited these guys as kids as well. So the club's getting rewarded for our recruiting people, getting the right people into our club. So, but as you say, like they certainly provide a lot of variety for us. As with Munster, he can he does a few unorthodox things at times, but there's a lot more good in his actions than not so good. So, I know it's embarrassment of riches, but we see it really important that we hang on to them and be able to build a team around them.
You talk about hanging on, Munster. Is there anything more? Do we know anything more about this guy?
I don't. I don't know anybody else does, but I'm not quite sure where he is at the moment. So I don't want to get bogged down in what's happening and is this going to happen or that's going to happen or whatever. He'll make his decision when he's ready. Hopefully he'll be to stay with us. I know the club. We all really want him to stay. So it's just a matter of him being comfortable in when he wants to make the decision.
Talking about recruiting before, someone like Josh King, he comes in and it's just looks like he's been here forever. The first few rounds. What impresses you about how he goes about his business?
Yeah, like I say, he won't mind me saying this. He's not a flash player, but what he does is he's tough and he knows his job and he gets his job done every week, And I think I've seen a little bit of that in him, when he was playing for the Knights. He didn't play a lot of minutes with the Knights, but and I didn't know how many minutes he'd get out with us early, but I think if he had to, he could probably play 80, but as I said, he prepares really well, he trains hard. It's his footy is important to him, and it's nice to see a young kid like that as I said, he's not overly talented, but he just works so hard for what he gets, and whatever he gets, he deserves. And like I say, he's making a real statement with us this year.
Harry Grant kind of referred to him as the bin chicken, so he just picks up all the scraps that no one else does the job. But you've had players like that. Does he remind you of a Dale Finucane and a Ryan Hinchcliffe, that kind of mould of player? Yeah,
I think he is that sort of mould of player. He's probably got a couple of other strengths, and he's probably a bit bigger than those guys. And I think we haven't seen. I think he's got a little bit more skill in him than what we've seen. We see little glimpses of it every now and then, but I think when he gets confidence within himself, playing with these players, and really finds his niche, I think he'll even get better.
Just from Wagga in general, how important is it to bring games like these out to here? And I guess especially makes sense with yourselves and the Raiders sort of. Either side of water.
Yeah, for me, I reckon it's really important. I come from a New South Wales country town, and when I go home and that, I hear from people that I know from when I lived there and whatever about how the game is struggling in the bush. Getting kids to play our game. I'd love to see and this might not be feasible but I'd love to see every club be made each year to actually take one of their home games to a country area, in New South Wales and Queensland. I think that'd be great for the game. And the other thing, it might be going over the top, but I think most trial games should be played in country areas. I think that gives the game in the bush a real shot in the arm. I'm not running the show, but there's probably negatives to that, or they can't do that. But I'd like to see us sort of head in that direction.
Jesse, just from a captain's perspective,
That's the question, mate.
where does it feel like this team is at, progressing in 5 rounds of the season? You got the Sharks next week, who look like they're going to be a real heavyweight of this competition as well. Where do you see the team at?
Yeah, I think we've been probably for our standards a bit inconsistent. I think we just need to keep working on getting better every week. I think last week we were really good against the Bulldogs, but it was a bit better opposition today. I think we just need to be a bit better and just need to ice the game out. I think there's just situations where we need to be better. If you give a team like Canberra the ball and they get a bit of spark about them, they're really hard to defend and play against. So I think just being a bit more ruthless and knowing the situations of the game, and next week's going to be a really tough game. We're playing against a few boys that were here for a while, and that's going to be a really tough game, and we'll be looking forward to it.
I'll ask one question. What are you going to do with Dale?
Nothing special. Just treat him like anyone else. He was one of us Ruckies for a very long time. Us Ruckies in Melbourne are really tight. He's here for a long time, and nothing but respect for Dale, but hopefully we can get over him next week.
Thank you.
Let's go.
Thanks, guys.